Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about content creation in the speedrunning community or about speedrunning. So, last week there was a little bit of drama on Twitter. PewDiePie released a video where it was about speedrunning, and there were a bunch of clips in there that were just rage clips, of speedrunners getting angry. And this is a discussion that's popped up a few times in the past, back with the whole Apollo Legend thing. There's a bunch of people who get pretty heated about this. So I made a Twitter thread where I talked a little bit about my perspective on this whole situation. And I decided that I also wanted to make a video on it because I ended up kind of having this whole Twitter essay, and I still didn't really get to the core of what I think we can do to kind of rectify this whole situation. So that's why I wanted to make this video. So the basic outline of what I said on Twitter is that I believe the reason that derivative content, and by derivative content I mean that content about speedrunning which is made by non-speedrunners, I guess. So like outsiders making content that is derived from speedrunning content, like, which is of course content that directly deals with speedruns. So, speedrunning streams and marathons and such. Derivative content, it focuses a lot on easy laughs, so things like cringe and rage compilations and stuff, because the inherent accessibility of speedrunning isn't good enough. And what I mean by that is that it's very hard for people from the outside to kind of get a good idea of what the appeal of speedrunning is and why people speedrun. So the reason for this is that the vast majority of speedrunning content is not doing a very good job at showcasing the strengths of this whole thing as like a hobby and as a community. So the vast majority of content is just going to be people's Twitch channels. They're sitting there, and take me as an example, because I think that I'm a pretty good example here. You go into my stream, and you're just going to see me sitting there playing Super Mario Sunshine, most likely resetting a bunch, and just having some idle conversation. It's probably not the most appealing thing when you're like completely new to it and you're like coming in and you're like, oh well, okay, I guess this guy is doing this, and then you click the back button and you go find a better channel. Quite frankly, and that's what the majority of speedrunning content is. We do have stuff like Games Done Quick, the marathons, and they do a lot better job at being engaging for outsiders because, instead of having this like kind of abstract thing where this guy's doing something they don't really understand, the Game's Done Quick, you have no reset runs, so you only have to watch the same game once, and they have commentary, and they're raising money for charity, and these are all things that people can easily latch onto and quickly be like, oh yeah, hey, this is cool, I can understand why they're doing this. So like that kind of content is the kind of thing that needs to be more prevalent if we want this whole like derivative content sphere, I guess, around speedrunning to change. When content creators, they're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a video about speedrunning, they will look into the speedrunning community, and most of what they're gonna see is that vast majority of content, which is just a bunch of people playing their games, playing their speed games, trying to get PBs. And that's kind of hard to make good content about. It's just like, oh well, hey, this guy just reset 5 times. And when they look at the community, a lot of what they see is drama. It's about, oh, this person cheated, and oh, there's arguments about the rule sets in this game, and all that stuff is so at the forefront of speedrunning right now. And I think that that's why it's extremely hard to create meaningful content. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, obviously not, because we have people like Summoning Salt who is creating the world record history videos, and those are amazing and they do extremely well, but they take a lot of time and effort to make, and most content creators simply aren't gonna make that investment. I mean, if you take it to that level, you'd only be able to release a video like once a month or something. Like, those are tough to make. So what we need to do is we need to provide more things for both like the mass, like the public, like just the vast majority of people, and the content creators to latch onto. So we need to make speedrunning more accessible to those people. So we should put more focus on like doing things that showcase the strengths of speedrunning. And in my opinion, the biggest strength of speedrunning is its sense of community. The community has always been the greatest thing about speedrunning to me. I definitely would not still be speedrunning if it wasn't for all the people that I've met, all the friends I've made, both in like my own stream community, as well as the Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario World and Luigi's Mansion communities. You know, all the games that I've been involved with. Like, that's just the greatest thing. But the vast majority of the content out there just does such a poor job showcasing this. So what we need to do is we should like do more events on smaller scale, like, you know, just do some races or whatever with your local community, with your game community. And I think that, you know, recently there have been some good steps in this direction. The speed gaming channels have been a godsend. I mean, tournaments have become so popular recently, and tournaments are like a great way to kind of zoom in on a game and kind of deliver that same thing that Games Done Quick and ESA do, where you've got no resets that are commentated, but you know, you've got a whole series of races. There's a ton of different runners, so you can really zoom in and look at the game from a more in-depth perspective, look at the differences between the runners, kind of talk about the community while these races are going on. And you know, that's a really good step in the right direction, in my opinion. And that's what we need more of, because that's going to give content creators more original content. So like making the distinction between the original speedrunning content and the derivative content here, that's going to give them more original content that is easy for them and their viewers to latch onto, so they can make derivative content that kind of focuses on these things. So basically we need to lead by example. We need to make the most recognizable things about speedrunning not be the salt or the cringe or the drama, but make it be the sense of community, the fun that we can have with this hobby. And yeah, if we do that, then the content creators will probably follow suit, because if other people are getting drawn in, then they are going to get drawn in too. So yeah, that's kind of the more fleshed out version of what I was trying to convey on Twitter, which Twitter is not a great place to kind of put down your elaborate thoughts. So that's yeah, I already mentioned it at the start of the video. But yeah, that's what I think about it. So I'm actually really interested to see what you guys have to say about this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that, you know, there's more to it than that? Like, I'm sure that if I sit down for a bit and think about it some more, I can come up with a few more points. But I think that this is what I just discussed. I think that's really the core of the issue. And I definitely have plans for my own content to improve on this. And I think that if more people do, then we can really change the outlook of the community for the better. So yeah, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter or whatever. You know how to reach me. In case you don't, it's all in the description down below. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day, and I will see you when I see you.